Hello everybody. Today we are going to go in and talk about how to do the practice TDA map exercise for the last part of week 3. So it'll be the Wednesday, Thursday portion, and of course Friday when you have time as well. So this activity is titled Practice TDA Map. You can click it here or here, depending on which day you're looking at. Once you get in, you'll see that there's a few tools and a Google assignment attached, which is what you want to complete. So basically, you'll have a copy of the text. I also suggest going back in though and reviewing your annotations and some of the notes that you might have from your Common Lit assignment where you originally saw your article. Those you can even use to your advantage as you create this assignment. So we're doing for this sample the 9th grade text, which is about Simone Biles. And you'll notice that you can get the PDF. Also, if you get the attached file and it doesn't have the color-coded areas, you have it right here to use as well. And then just put that into the Google Doc and you're good to go. So when you open the assignment, or if you use the one that's up there, you're going to get something that looks like this. And basically, it's just a TDA, text-dependent analysis essay map. Few things that are going to be important for you to understand how to navigate this map. Number 1, you have the TDA prompt. Okay, so this was actually something that was implemented in Common Lit as well, but this allows you to really think through what you're doing. Number 2, you want to answer the prompt in almost like an outline form by filling out the boxes. However, you're not going to actually be writing out an essay response. So you fill out the boxes, and then we will do the full essay response with our real TDA next week. So let's get started to see how we're going to fill out these boxes and do our map, or our guide, as if we were going to put together an essay. The TDA says, explain the connection between Biles' training and her success. Use evidence from the text to support your response. Regardless of what article you read, you're going to have that last part of the prompt. Use text from the evidence to support your response, or evidence, I'm sorry. The next part are the 2 boxes below it, and those are asking you to analyze what is actually being asked of you to do with the text that you have. So the first one says identify verbs in the prompt, and then what are the key words in the questions, and then the questions under it are there to help you. So if you think about verbs, right, nouns are people, place, things, or ideas. Verbs are words of action or being, right, to run, think, talk, etc. So if we look at the prompt, we want to find what verbs we might see in here. The first sentence, little freebie, is explain. Right? The prompt is asking us to explain a connection. So that could be one that you could put down. There's going to be other verbs in there too, so make sure that you add yours. The next part says, what are the key words in the question? So here we want to think about what words in here we could use to rewrite this prompt as our essay thesis. Okay? Again, not writing an essay, just coming up with a thesis if we did have to answer this and flesh it out. So if we look through here, we know that we're talking about Simone Biles. So I think that would be a pretty good keyword. Or her full name. I'm just putting her last name for right now. Training and success could also be important. So there's some other things you could add in. See what else you can put in there. Now, we just went through and analyzed the TDA prompt, what we were answering. Now we have the part that's color-coded, so you can either, again, go into the assignment and click on the color-coded area if it's not immediately attached to the assignment, or it's probably right there for you. So what you want to do is look for the pink area under letter A. This is where you're going to create a thesis, or what the essay is going to be about, and it has to address that prompt. You'll see that there's some sentence starters on the last page right here to help you out with this. So in pink, you could use one of these two and create that thesis if it helps you kind of organize your thoughts a little bit more. So after reading, maybe I want to use that sentence starter. And then I would make it my own by adding areas where I see the blanks. During her training, Simone Biles sets herself up for success by, and whatever I think might show that. This might be a good thing to actually fill out after you have your evidence and analysis part filled out. So if you want to pick a sentence starter first and then come back to fill it in later for the full thesis, you can do that. The next part is you actually want to pull evidence from your text, things that will help back up whatever you want to say here to answer the question. So all these things are connected back to the prompt. So let's say I go in here and I like this paragraph right here. It talks about where she started to get an interest in gymnastics and where she started practicing. So I copied that. I put it in my evidence, and then I want to make a connection between my text and my prompt. How is that text helping me answer that? That's the analysis part, right? And ultimately that supports our thesis. So in the teal area, I can come down here, and if I'm unsure of how to start, I can use one of these sentence starters. Now notice I have author in parentheses. That's because I want to be using the author's name. Notice that here the title of the article is Simone Biles and Marty Kaminsky is the author. So I could go ahead and put this up here. And instead of just having author, I would put Kaminsky. And then from there, I would finish the sentence based on what I think is the connection between this quote and my thesis, which is ultimately addressing that prompt. Okay, so really this analysis could be about 2 to 3 sentences, right? Even one if you have it nice and thorough, along with your copied and pasted text evidence. You want to do that 2 more times. And then the conclusion is basically the so what of why you're looking through this article. Why is it important to talk about whatever you stated in this thesis? What's the takeaway for someone reading it? If you're a little stuck on how to get started, you can come down here and use one of these. I think this one might be a really strong sentence starter. We're centering the idea of Simone Biles. Sometimes you might have to hit that. There we go. And then where those dots are at, you can continue the sentence. And put in what you think based on what you have here and in your thesis. All right, once you have that done, you can submit it into the assignment space and we'll take a look at it. It is quiz points, but if you have some part that you might need to revise and add into, you can always resubmit it, seeing my feedback inside of Canvas. Thank you for checking this out. As always, ask me for any questions, and I'll see you next time.